Welcome to Chef Richard's Kitchen. I'm Chef Richard Miller. Today we're going to do another south of the border treat, and this time we're going to make fish tacos. And of course, this during the Lenten season, everybody's looking for different seafood dinners. So let's go ahead and let's try this one. This one is usually made with mahi. I didn't have any, so what I did was I just went ahead and I'm using cod. All right. Now what I do with this is I'm going to take it and I cut it up into about 8 pieces. What we're going to do is we're going to dredge it in flour, egg, and then panko crumbs, and then we're going to go ahead and fry them in our skillet here until they're nice and brown and done. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a butternut adobo, or not butternut, buttermilk adobo sauce for these, and we're going to go ahead and assemble them and have some nice tacos. So let's get started. The first thing we want is we want to take, and after we get our fish cut up, we want to take probably, about 3/4 to a cup of flour, something like that. And about the same amount of our panko. Now we're going to go ahead, and I've already dried these with paper towels. So let me go ahead and whip the eggs just one more time. Take and make sure that my fish is well coated. Dip it in the egg. Then in the panko crumbs. All right. Now we'll go ahead and we'll put that on the plate. And we'll do the rest of them. Flour, egg, panko. I've gone ahead and I've gotten all 8 of my strips dredged in the flour, dunked in the egg, and then coated with panko crumbs. Right now I'm a mess, so I'm going to cut the camera off here. Let me clean up just a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and fry them up. So I'll be right back. All right, I cleaned up. I've got a new plate here so we don't cross-contaminate. And right now, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of tablespoons worth of olive oil in the pan. And I'm going to put in a couple of my little fish sticks. Now remember, we don't want to crowd these because we don't want to steam them. We want to brown them. So let me go ahead and brown these. I'm going to give them a couple minutes on this side. Don't take them and try and pry them off too soon, or you'll just make a mess of everything. Make sure they're in there at least a couple minutes so they have a tendency, they brown on the bottom and it releases. It's been a couple minutes, and as you can see, they're browning nicely. Let me put this under the detail camera so that you can see it. Now is when it's time to turn them over. And let's give them another couple minutes on this side. Okay, here's been another couple minutes on this side. It's also browned very well. And I took a fork and I flaked one of them, and they flaked apart very, very easily, so I know they're done. All right, now let's put the other four in. All right, we'll give them a couple minutes here, and we'll flip them over. Okay, as you can see, they brown nicely on the one side. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip them. And like we did with the last one, I'm going to also give them about 2 minutes over here. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to heat up our tortillas, and we're going to go ahead and make our buttermilk adobo sauce. So I'll come back in about a minute. Don't go far. Okay, our fish is out. Now let's go ahead and let's fry up our tortillas. A lot of people use corn tortillas for tacos. Personally, I like flour. So that's what I'm going to use, just flour tortillas. Just a few seconds on either side is all it needs. So you just start to see it bubble. They're ready. Okay. Now, all of our tortillas are nice and warmed and brown. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick these in the oven. I've got it set for about, 200 degrees, something like that. I'm just going to let them keep warm in there. Okay, I have the fish and the tortillas in the oven. It's set at 200 degrees. It's just keeping them warm is all it is. While that's going on, let me grab the spatula and let's make our sauce. We start out with about a cup of buttermilk dressing. Can you make your own? Of course you can. Did I get lazy? Of course I did. Add to that, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of lime juice. Probably about a quarter teaspoon of salt and some pepper. And I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of adobo sauce. All right about here is where you decide where your heat's going to go. If you're going to make it mild or if you're going to make it hot. But remember, as I always tell you, who are you always thinking about when you're cooking? Or at least who should you be? That's right, your guest. Do you really want to burn their mouths? That's actually a very good flavor. I'm going to add the rest of the adobo. And probably the rest of the lime juice. Very good, very good. But I want just a little more kick in it. And so what I'm going to put in here, and I don't mean much, is I'm going to take some chipotle powder. That's getting better. I had about a teaspoon here, but I'm sure I don't want to add all of that. Excellent. There it is. So now that we've got our sauce made, it's about time to plate. So let me wipe this down and I'll be right back and we'll go ahead and plate. All right, everything's done. We have the topping, we have the fish, we have the tortillas, and I have other things, that we're going to put on top of it, all prepared. Now, what is the time to do? Yep, time to plate. So what I'm going to do is, I love my little taco stand here. It's probably the only way I can keep from dropping them. All right, let me go ahead and put my shells on. Put my fish in. All right. On top of this, we're going to put our buttermilk adobo sauce. Okay, now, on top of this, what we want to do is we want to put on just a little bit of shredded cabbage. Give it kind of a nice springy air to it. There. Even though the groundhog said there'd be 6 more weeks of winter, I prefer doing it kind of this way. So, all right, on this, we're going to put just a little bit of chopped red onion. And a little bit of chopped cilantro. All right. One last thing we're going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit of lime on there. And here we have it. I'm going to put up under the detail camera so you can see very well. All right. These are our tacos. Now, what do you want to do when you serve it? Well, when you serve it, what I like to do is put a little, and this is just shredded lettuce. I put a little shredded lettuce, a little guacamole, a little pico de gallo, and just a little bit of sour cream. Okay, to this, let me go ahead and clean this up just a tad. To this, let's go ahead and take and put a little cilantro on here and maybe a couple of lines. And once again, here we have it. I stuck it under the detail camera so you can see it much better. Here we are. Here we have our fish tacos. Now, one thing we have to do yet, and this is my favorite part of it. All right. Now comes chef's privilege. I'm the one that gets to take the first one. Delicious. Delicious. The fish came out absolutely perfect. It wasn't overdone, it wasn't underdone. It just came out nice and flaky. You can taste the adobo in there. You can taste a little bit of that smoky chipotle that I had in there. And you can also taste the buttermilk. I'm being impolite, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to take a second bite. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is absolutely delicious. So, once again, we have a nice recipe that just put under my detail camera. Once again, we have a very, very nice recipe we can fix. It's perfectly fine for Lent. In fact, it's good anytime. I wouldn't be afraid to make these any night of the week for anyone. So, anyway, once again, feel free to give this a try. I really would wish that you'd give some of these a try, and let me know how you come out with it. If it comes out good, if it doesn't, leave me a message, Chef R.D. Miller at att.net, and let's find out what you did wrong so you can make them just as delicious as they are here. So, anyway, once again, thank you, take care, God bless. Make sure you give a thumbs up, and even better, go ahead and subscribe so you know you're not going to miss any episodes of this. In the meantime, we'll see you next episode. Bye for now.